If I have a hangnail, it's a tragedy. If you fall down an open manhole cover and die, it is hilarious. My name is Dan Schlissel, and I run Stand Up Records. Comedy started out at a young age for me. My parents had a lot of records from the old country, Israel in this case. And in Israel, there was a sketch comedy group called Hagashash HaChaver. Sort of tough to spell, let alone say. They were an original Israeli group in the vein of like Monty Python. And they pushed the boundary of surrealism in a language that had been dead for a couple thousand years. So my first memories are of Hagashash HaChaver, but then it's quickly into American comedy. I look at Stand Up Records, it's a comedy label. We're not a music label, but we're a music label. Everything I learned is in the indie rock world. I had a local music record label when I lived in Nebraska. So I learned everything I could, and the label started to disintegrate because bands eventually break up or move away or, you know, that kind of thing. And at the same time, I relocated from Lincoln, Nebraska to Minneapolis.
Thank you for coming. I'm recording an album tonight. I don't know if you've heard. Which means if this goes poorly, it'll be awful forever.
It's a lot of things to say, but here we go. Joke number 1. My friend's a Jehovah's Witness. And he got all pissed at me because he tried to tell me a knock-knock joke and I ignored him.
I moved here in November of '98, and I had to drive back and forth to Hudson, Wisconsin. And driving home, I heard an ad on the radio station saying that Louis Black from The Daily Show was going to be at Acme. I'd never been in a comedy club ever before. So it was my first experience going to a comedy club. And then there he is, he's standing in the bar. So I just went over and started talking. And, you know, he was receptive. It was crazy.
I told my friends that I was going to make a CD. And to give you an idea how smart my friends are, they said, well, what kind of CD? I said, nothing but love songs.
In the old days, we'd be happy if a record got paid off and ecstatic if we sold out of the first run. Louis Black comes along, and all of a sudden, you know, the first order was like 1,500 copies. Second order is 1,500 copies. Third order is 1,500 copies. You know, you're talking tens of thousands of records at a certain point. By the summer of 2002, Stand Up Records had officially started as its own thing, and the old label kind of left to wither and die. I did 2 records and an EP for Louis on my label, and then I produced 4 records for Comedy Central. 3 of them were nominated for Grammy. The second one that was nominated, the Carnegie Hall performance, won the Grammy. So in my living room, there's a Grammy Award.
So I told him I was moving to Minnesota. That's part of the world. And Aunt Jimmy said, Minnesota? Why would you leave Florida to go to the Midwest to Minnesota? I said, my boyfriend lives there. Right then and there, she started praying out loud. Lord, Jesus, take me now. Her boyfriend must be white. I'm like, why would you say something like that? She said, everybody know ain't no black people in Minnesota.
Everything matters to me. Like, the sound of the records matters to me. The look of the artwork matters to me. All the little details, all the little psychological things, down to our logo. My old record label logo was this nondescript thing that didn't really say a lot. And I decided I wanted something very, very striking. And I happen to know a lot of artists. I don't follow art as much as I follow music and entertainment. And as a result of that, I knew Shepard Fairey, who designed the famous Obama Hope poster. And I gave him a call, and I pitched an idea to him. He set expectations low and then pole vaulted a world record leap over it and delivered the logo that we use now, which is, you know, the fist holding the microphone. And it's striking, and it says every single thing about my label that I wanted it to say.
Like, listen to my voice. You're probably thinking, oh, she sounds like a 5-year-old, and yet she has the body of a 4th grader.
So I asked my mom when I was little, like, Mom, was I an accident? My mom says, oh, who has kids on purpose?
You want to fix the Pledge of Allegiance, put a disclaimer at the end. With liberty and justice for all. Must be 18, void where prohibited. Some restrictions may apply, not available in all states.
In the old days, record collecting used to mean like artwork and liner notes and all of that stuff, big art. And it still matters that way to me. I make physical product for a number of reasons. I think it's a very cynical move to do a digital-only release, even though I've done it a few times. I think if you believe in your artist, you make something. For most people, they don't buy any of this stuff. They buy it on a screen and they see the image that big. Vinyl is more like baseball cards. So the people that buy vinyl, they're not necessarily wanting to play the vinyl, they want to have the vinyl. And it's a bragging right. Oh, you got a 1979 Reggie Jackson? Well, I've got a Mitch Hedberg box set. It's a lot of bragging rights and a lot of like, I want this piece of art so I can frame it and hang it on my wall. Michelangelo got to paint the Sistine Chapel, right? These are 1,000 copies of somebody's Sistine Chapel.